Walk through the streets of Shani Shingnapur, a bustling settlement of 4,000 people in Maharashtra, and you will find a fully functional modern town. It has homes, shops, and a local economy. But the architecture reveals something missing from every single structure. None of the buildings have doors. There are no locks, no deadbolts, and no frames. The extent of this practice is so absolute that when a police station was built here in 2015, authorities chose not to install a front door. They rely entirely on a sliding gate, and its only purpose is to keep stray dogs and cats from wandering inside. In a 21st century global culture obsessed with security, a town leaving its valuables exposed contradicts standard safety logic. It establishes a sharp tension between modern common sense and the lived cultural reality of the people who reside there. When we encounter anomalies like an eternal flame burning without a fuel source or a river that refuses to spoil, the common modern instinct is to debunk them. We immediately start looking for the trick. But attacking these phenomena with the sole intent of disproving them might actually mean we are using the wrong analytical tool. Across India, a persistent series of local mysteries are forcing researchers and academics to reconsider their approach. They are finding that empirical data and deep spiritual faith can function as parallel systems of understanding. To see how that works in practice, we are going to look at exact physical realities through two entirely different, non-competing lenses. Let's apply a sociological lens to the open doors of Shani Shingnapur. The residents believe the deity Lord Shani will inflict divine punishment on anyone who steals. From a behavioral science perspective, this deep religious conformity and communal vigilance act as a highly effective psychological deterrent. Still, human nature persists. The town's UCO Bank branch initially adhered to the doorless tradition, but after a string of reported burglaries, the bank eventually installed a remote-controlled electromagnetic lock. We can apply this same empirical lens to the Ganges River. Biologists have found that the river's water, Ganga Jal, is loaded with these specific viruses. This animated vector model shows a microscopic bacteriophage structure attaching to a bacteria cell. The phages actively inhibit microbial decay by destroying the bacteria that typically cause water to stagnate. This biological mechanism explains how the water purifies itself and remains clear for years. Or consider the 2013 Kedarnath floods. A catastrophic cloudburst wiped out entire settlements, yet the main temple survived. Geologists attribute this to the structure's high elevation, its robust stone construction, and the physics of this massive boulder that rolled down the mountain and lodged directly behind the temple, physically deflecting the force of the floodwaters. Empirical science is an excellent, precise tool for mapping the mechanical how of a phenomenon, but identifying a mechanism does not explain its human impact. That is where we switch to the spiritual lens. While science maps the physical triggers of an event, faith decodes the metaphysical timing and the meaning behind it. Look at the Kamakhya temple in Assam. Science points to iron-rich soil or algal blooms to explain why the nearby river turns red. But the spiritual lens views this annual event as a sacred affirmation of the divine feminine. It honors menstruation, elevating a biological process into a revered ritual for millions of devotees. Returning to the Kedarnath boulder, physics moved the rock, but the spiritual lens allowed devastated locals to view that exact placement as a symbol of divine protection. It gave them a framework to process immense grief and destruction. There are moments where empirical data remains inconclusive. Geologists surveyed the rock crevices at Jwala Devi for methane leaks, yet found no consistent gas source to explain the flame's centuries-long burn. Similarly, at Jagannath Puri, researchers find their data limited by the architecture, leaving the flag's daily reversal an open meteorological question. Faith functions as a tool for decoding the existential why, addressing the questions of purpose and timing that empirical measurements cannot reach. Academics use a specific term for the ability to hold both of these lenses at the exact same time: epistemological pluralism. Knowing the chemical makeup of bacteriophages doesn't make the Ganges River a single degree less holy to the person standing in the water seeking purification. Both realities exist simultaneously. Categorizing these two systems as a binary choice creates a false contradiction. They govern separate domains. Science exists to measure reality. Faith exists to navigate it, providing the emotional solace and moral direction required to move through a complex world. The bank in Shani Shingnapur ultimately installed a modern lock, securing its cash. Yet the rest of the town and the homes of the people living there remain open. Allowing logic and reverence to sit side by side is a completely valid, profoundly human way to experience the world.